The first time Amara stepped into Lincoln High, the halls seemed to shrink. Not because the building was small, but because of the way eyes followed her. New school, new faces, same whispers. She'd moved from Atlanta to a small suburban town in Ohio after her father's job transfer, or at least that's what people believed. The truth was heavier. Her mother had begged for a fresh start, somewhere without memories of flashing police lights and sleepless nights. Amara kept her head down that first morning, clutching her backpack like it carried her past inside it. The walls were lined with banners about kindness, unity, and respect, but in the real world, she could already feel the divide. You can't hide strength forever, not when the world keeps testing it. In her first class, a group of girls stared, not curious, not friendly, the kind of stare that measures, that judges. At the center of them was Madison Klein, blonde hair, perfect nails, and the kind of smile that only appears when someone's about to ruin your day. By lunch, it started. Snickers, whispers, the imitation of her southern accent, the jokes about her hair, the names some subtle, some not. Amara ignored it. She'd seen worse, she'd lived worse. But inside her, something simmered, something she promised her mom she'd never let out again. Later that day, in gym class, Madison's friend accidentally tripped her. The laughter echoed through the locker room like gunfire. Amara stayed silent, stood up, and walked away. But her eyes were a warning. They didn't see it then. The way her hands curled, not in fear, but in control. Because Amara wasn't weak. She wasn't fragile. She'd learned to fight not in ring lights or practice mats, but in dark corners where survival was the only lesson that mattered. That night, she sat on her bed staring at her reflection, whispering to herself, "Not here, Amara. Not again. You promised Mama no more fighting." But fate doesn't care about promises. Tomorrow, they'd push her one time too many, and the storm she carried would break loose. The second day at Lincoln High started like the first quiet hallways, cold smiles, and the low hum of gossip that moved faster than truth ever could. Amara walked with her headphones in, the music low but the memories loud. The city she came from wasn't kind, but at least there, she was seen. Here, she was invisible until someone needed a target. By gym class, she could already feel it. Something was coming. The locker room was filled with perfume, laughter, and the high-pitched tone of teenage cruelty. Madison and her crew, Jenna, Bree, and Lexi, hovered near the benches, eyes locked on Amara like wolves circling quiet prey. "Hey, new girl," Madison said, pretending to smile. "You know we have rules about lockers. That one's mine." Amara looked up, calm. "It's empty." It was empty, Madison smirked. "Till now." The other girls laughed, that sharp, mean laughter that fills the air like broken glass. Amara didn't move. She'd learned long ago that silence could hurt more than words. But Madison didn't like silence. Bullies never do. "Oh, come on," she pushed. "Don't just stand there. Do something. Or is that not what you people do?" The room went silent. Even her friends froze. The words hung in the air, heavy, venomous. Amara blinked once. Slowly, she could feel it. The burn in her chest, the shaking in her hands. "You promised, Amara. You promised Mama you'd never let anger be the one to speak again." So she didn't. She grabbed her gym bag, turned, and started to walk away. But Madison wasn't done. She grabbed Amara's arm hard, spinning her around. And that's when it happened. Not the fight, not yet, but something colder. When Amara's sleeve rolled up, a small tattoo showed faded black ink on her forearm. A single mark, shaped like a jagged wing. Madison's eyes flickered. "What's that supposed to be?" Amara didn't answer, but deep down, she knew this was how it started last time. Because that mark wasn't just a tattoo, it was a memory and a warning. That night, as rain tapped her window, Amara sat staring at it, that ink, that piece of her past she couldn't erase. It wasn't for art, it was for survival. The mark belonged to something she thought she'd left behind. Something dangerous, something that once made her feared. And if they pushed her again, they'd find out why. Amara couldn't sleep that night. The tattoo on her arm felt heavier than ever, like it was burning through the surface, begging to remind her of where she came from. In the soft hum of her room, She replayed memories she'd buried years ago. The old gym, the smell of sweat and blood. Her uncle's voice calm, deep, but hard. You don't fight to win, Amara. You fight to survive. And survival don't ask permission. She was only 12 when he taught her. Too young to know what violence costs, but old enough to understand what fear does to people who look like her. Her neighborhood wasn't safe, not for kids who walked home alone after sunset. That tattoo, the wing, wasn't decoration, it was a symbol. The Black Wing Society, a group of kids from her old block who refused to be victims. They didn't start fights, but they finished them brutally. She was their youngest, their quietest, their most dangerous. And when things went too far one night, when she broke a man's nose defending her brother and the police lights came flashing, her mother made her promise no more fighting, no more Black Wing. That promise brought them here, to this new school, to this new life she was trying to protect. But as she sat on her bed that night, she couldn't shake the feeling that fate was circling back, that no matter how far she ran, the fight would always find her. Because the universe has a cruel way of testing the peace you pray for. The next morning, the whispers were louder. Somebody had taken a picture of her tattoo in the locker room. By lunchtime, everyone had seen it. Rumors spread like wildfire. Gang, dangerous, violent. Her teachers looked at her differently. The principal called her in for a conversation. And Madison, she loved it. She smiled at Amara in the hallway, like she'd found new ammunition. But what Madison didn't know was that every rumor she spread was slowly unlocking a part of Amara she'd fought hard to bury. By the end of that week, Lincoln High was humming with a new obsession, the girl with the mark. Amara could feel it. Every hallway she walked through whispered. Every locker slam sounded like a gunshot from her past. But Madison was enjoying every second. She wasn't used to being ignored. She wasn't used to anyone, especially someone like Amara, walking away from her without fear. So she decided to remind everyone who ran this school. It started with small things. Her friends snickering behind Amara's back in class. Notes left on her desk. A locker door scratched with one word, thug. But that wasn't enough for Madison. She wanted a scene, and Friday's pep rally was the perfect place. The whole school gathered in the gym cameras, cheerleaders, teachers, everyone. Madison's plan was simple. Embarrass Amara, record it, post it online, and let the world laugh. She thought it'd be her finest moment. She didn't know she was writing her own downfall. That morning, Madison told her friends to meet early before the rally. They had props, a fake award, a prank speech, even a nickname they made up, Angry Amara. They were going to call her up during the rally, pretend it was some fun surprise, and make her the joke of the day. But fate had other plans, because while Madison and her friends rehearsed their cruelty, someone else was watching. Someone who'd been quiet since the first day, the new transfer student from Detroit, Deshaun. He'd seen the way Amara carried herself. He recognized the silence in her, the kind that hides history. He'd seen that tattoo before. And when he saw Madison's crew whispering, laughing, and pulling Amara's picture up on their phones, something clicked. After school, he found Amara by the bleachers. "You know they're setting you up, right?" he said quietly. She didn't answer, just looked at him, cautious. "You from Atlanta, right? That mark you got?" He hesitated. "You used to run with Black Wing, didn't you?" Her eyes narrowed. "How you know that?" Deshaun pulled up his sleeve. On his forearm, the same mark. "Because I did too." For the first time since she'd arrived, Amara's mask cracked. He told her everything, how he'd moved to, how he'd left it all behind, and how sometimes peace isn't about running, it's about knowing when to stop running. That night, Amara didn't sleep. She didn't listen to music. She just sat there thinking. Friday came bright and loud. The gym was packed. Music blasted through the speakers. The cheer squad was in formation. Teachers were smiling, and hundreds of students filled the bleachers, phones in hand, ready to record something. Madison and her girls were in the front row, rehearsing their lines one last time. Their plan was cruel and perfect. Call Amara on stage, mock her, and post the video by lunch. Amara walked in late, headphones around her neck, eyes calm, too calm. Deshaun watched her from the side of the bleachers, jaw tight. He knew that look. the look of someone who'd already decided what comes next. When the principal finished his speech, Madison raised her hand. "We have a fun surprise for everyone." The mic squealed. The crowd's chatter died down. "We want to welcome our newest student, Amara, the toughest girl in school." The sarcasm was thick enough to choke on. Laughter rippled through the gym. Amara froze in the aisle. All those faces, all those eyes. She could feel the judgment like heat on her skin. "Come on up," Madison said, smiling like a wolf. "Tell us about that cool gang tattoo of yours." Gasps. More laughter. "Cameras up." Amara's breath slowed. Every heartbeat was a drum. Every second, a test. She looked at Madison, then at Deshawn, who gave her the slightest nod. It wasn't a command, it was permission. And that's when everything changed. Amara walked to the stage slow, deliberate. The gym quieted. She took the mic from Madison's hand, her fingers steady. "You think you know what tough looks like?" she said softly. "You think a tattoo makes me dangerous? You have no idea what dangerous looks like." Her voice didn't shake. Her words didn't stutter. "I didn't choose this mark because I wanted to be feared. I earned it because I wanted to live." The crowd shifted. The laughter stopped. "You all think this is funny, but some of us don't get to laugh our way out of what life throws at us." Madison rolled her eyes. "Oh, please, save the speech, superhero. Nobody cares." And then she did it, the one thing she shouldn't have done. She shoved Amara. The crowd gasped. The mic hit the floor with a clang. For a second, Amara didn't move. She just looked down at the ground, breathing, trembling. "You promised, Amara. You promised Mama." But promises mean nothing when someone drags your name through dirt. When they make your pain their entertainment. Amara's fist moved before thought could stop it. One clean, precise motion, not wild, not angry, controlled. Madison staggered back, clutching her lip. The crowd erupted, screams, phones, chaos. The teachers rushed in. Deshawn stood frozen. And Amara? She didn't look scared. She looked free. Sometimes the only way to stop being someone's victim is to remind them what respect feels like. As they pulled her away, the crowd parted quiet now, almost reverent, because they'd all seen it, not a fight, not a tantrum. They'd seen power. But this was only the beginning. Because that punch wasn't the end of Amara's trouble, it was the spark. And by Monday morning, everything she thought she escaped was coming back for her. By Monday morning, the whole town knew. A video, shaky, loud, filled with screams, had gone viral over the weekend. New girl knocks out Queen Bee at Lincoln High. Thousands of views, hundreds of comments, and only one story being told, the wrong one. To everyone watching, Amara wasn't the girl defending herself. She was the aggressor, the troublemaker, the angry black girl they'd been waiting to confirm existed. The principal called her in before first period. His office smelled like cold coffee and judgment. "Amara, we're suspending you for 3 days, he said flatly. "Violence is unacceptable here." She tried to explain, but he didn't want to hear it. He already believed the version of the story that fit easiest. When she walked out, students stared, whispered, recorded. Madison hadn't come back to school yet. Her lip was swollen, her pride bruised, but her friends were everywhere, spinning new lies. She jumped her. "She's crazy. She's in some gang." Deshawn found Amara by the courtyard, sitting alone beneath the maple tree, her suspension slip in hand. "You did what you had to," he said quietly. "Yeah?" she muttered. "Then why does it feel like I lost?" He didn't answer because he knew the truth. In this world, winning a fight doesn't always mean you're free. Sometimes you fight, and the world still calls you the villain. That evening, Amara came home early. Her mom was waiting, phone in hand, video already watched. Her face was a mix of anger, fear, and heartbreak. "I told you, Amara, I told you. No more fighting." "She pushed me, Ma. You think that matters?" Her mother's voice cracked. "We came here to start over. Now they're gonna see you like they saw your brother, dangerous, reckless." Another headline waiting to happen. Amara's throat tightened. That word brother hit hard. "I'm not him," she whispered. "You're exactly like him," her mother said, softer now, tears forming. "And that's what scares me." That night, Amara sat in her room, Lights off, watching the shadows crawl across her wall. The internet was calling her a monster. Her classmates called her a thug. And the people she wanted to impress the most saw her as a mistake. It's a strange kind of pain when defending yourself still makes you the villain. She looked down at her arm, that wing tattoo, faded but strong. For the first time, she didn't see a warning. She saw a mirror. Maybe I was never meant to run from who I am, she whispered. But even she didn't know what those words would set in motion. Because while she was being punished for defending herself, someone else was watching from the shadows. Someone who remembered exactly what that mark meant, and what she used to be capable of. Amara had been home 2 days into her suspension. The house was quiet, the kind of quiet that feels like guilt has taken up residence. Her mother had stopped talking to her except for the necessary words. Dinner's ready. Lights out. We'll talk later. But Amara didn't need words to hear her disappointment. It echoed through every silence. That night, rain fell against the window, soft, steady. She was sitting on her bed, tracing the edges of her tattoo, when headlights flashed through her window. A car door slammed outside. She thought it was her mom returning from work until she heard the knock. 3 sharp taps, too firm, too familiar. She opened the door, and there he was. Been a long time, Wing. A man stood on the porch, late 20s, heavy coat, a face she hadn't seen in almost 3 years. Trey, her brother's best friend. Her trainer, the one who taught her how to fight before everything went wrong. Trey, she whispered, what are you doing here? He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Heard you made a little noise up here. Couldn't believe it when I saw that video. You still got that right hook. Amara's stomach dropped. You shouldn't be here. Relax, he said. Ain't here to cause trouble. Just checking in. But Amara knew better. Trey didn't drive 5 hours in the rain just to say hi. He stepped inside before she could stop him. Looked around, whistled low. You did good for yourself, Wing. Suburbs, nice house. But you and me both know you don't belong in quiet places. That's over, she said sharply. I'm not part of that life anymore. Trey chuckled. That's the thing about the life, girl. It don't need your permission to call you back. She crossed her arms. What do you want, Trey? His expression changed serious now. Your brother's in trouble. The words hit like a punch. Darius? She breathed. What happened? Trey looked at her, hesitant, almost guilty. He got into something bad. The crew's split up. He's missing. Last time anybody saw him, he was looking for you. Her knees weakened. Looking for me? Why? Trey sighed. He said you got something he needs. Something you don't even know you have. Amara stared, heart pounding. I don't understand. You will, Trey said quietly. But listen, there are people looking for you now. Not just old enemies. Cops. Folks who think you know where Darius went. Silence. The rain outside had turned to a storm. Peace was gone. The past had found her. Trey stepped closer, voice low. You got 2 choices, Wing. Pretend you're still that quiet girl, or remember who you really are. He handed her a folded piece of paper and address. Tomorrow night. If you still care about your brother, meet me there. Then he was gone. Amara stood frozen, the paper trembling in her hand. Her world, already cracked, had just split open. And as the storm raged outside, one truth sank deep into her chest. You can leave the fight, but the fight never leaves you. Amara didn't sleep that night. The paper Trey left on her desk felt like it was pulsing a heartbeat from another life. An address scrawled in messy ink, Pier 19, midnight. By morning, she was a ghost in her own home. Her mother left early for work, too tired and angry to notice the quiet. The suspension meant Amara had nowhere to be and everywhere to think. She paced the small kitchen, wrestling with 2 voices in her head. You promised Mama, but he's your brother. That promise had kept her safe. But promises don't mean much when blood is calling for help. By nightfall, she was out the door, hood up, bus ticket in hand. The city lights grew sharper the closer she got to the docks, the place where her old life used to breathe. Every step she took felt like a step backward in time. The smell of salt and metal, the sound of rain hitting rusted rails, the same corners she used to train behind. When she reached Pier 19, Trey was there leaning against his car, smoke curling from his breath. Didn't think you'd show, he said. You knew I would? He smiled a sad, knowing smile. You always did have that fire. They walked along the pier, the waves crashing like distant drums. Trey finally stopped beside an old warehouse. This is where it started going wrong, he said. After you left, Darius tried to keep the crew together. But he wasn't you, Amara. He didn't have your calm. He let the wrong people in. Amara frowned. What wrong people? Trey hesitated. Folks who thought Blackwing was still alive. Thought we still had what was stolen. Stolen? What are you talking about? Trey looked at her, eyes heavy. You really don't know, do you? Before she could ask again, headlights flared from behind. A black SUV rolled up slow, deliberate. 3 men stepped out, clean suits, blank faces. They weren't cops. They weren't locals. You brought her, one of them said to Trey. Amara's stomach dropped. Trey, what is this? Trey's voice was low, almost apologetic. I'm sorry, Wing. They promised they'd help find Darius if I brought you in. You sold me out? He swallowed hard. It's not like that. They think you know something about what your brother took. The men stepped closer. You'll come with us quietly, Miss Johnson. We just need to talk. Amara's pulse spiked. Every instinct she'd buried came alive. The fight she swore she'd never start again was clawing its way to the surface. I told you, she said softly, fists tightening. I don't fight anymore. One of the men reached for her arm. She moved first. It wasn't wild. It was precise. A twist, a strike, a fall. Another step. Another hit 2 men down before they knew what happened. Trey stumbled back, eyes wide. Amara, what did you... You brought them here, she said, voice low. Now you better tell me everything. He looked at her, guilt flooding his face. Darius stole something that didn't belong to him. Something people would kill to get back. What? Trey hesitated, then whispered. A flash drive, with names, police, politicians, everyone involved in shutting down Blackwing. Oh, silence. Amara stared at him, realization dawning like a slow, painful sunrise. You're saying he exposed them, and now they're coming after us? Trey nodded. And now they think you know where he hid it. The sound of sirens echoed in the distance. Amara looked down at the unconscious men, then at Trey. If they want me, she said, voice steady, they'll have to catch me first. And for the first time in years, the Blackwing rose again. Amara didn't look back. The night swallowed her whole reign. Neon, footsteps pounding against the soaked pavement. Every instinct told her one thing: move. Trey's voice echoed in her mind, his confession cutting deeper with every stride. A flash drive. Names. People powerful enough to bury entire lives, including her brother's. She slipped through alleyways, ducking behind dumpsters, heart thundering like war drums. The city she once escaped now felt like it was closing in, one heartbeat at a time. This isn't about survival anymore, she thought. This is about truth. She reached an old train yard, abandoned, quiet, heavy with memories. This was where she used to train with Darius. Every rusted beam still echoed their laughter, their promises. We don't fight to hurt people, Mara, Darius once told her. We fight so people remember not to mess with what's ours. Now he was gone, and everyone thought she knew where he was. A soft rustle broke her thoughts. She turned, fists ready. Deshawn stepped out from the shadows. You really think I'd let you go out here alone? She exhaled, half in relief, half in disbelief. How did you even find me? You forget. I've got the same mark. I know how you think. He handed her a folded piece of paper, soaked, torn at the edges. Found this in Trey's car before I got here. Looks like a note from Darius. Amara unfolded it, eyes scanning the words. There were only 3 lines. If you're reading this, they found me first. The truth is buried where we learn to fight. Protect Mom at all costs. Amara's heart froze. Where we learn to fight? Deshawn nodded slowly. The old gym. They didn't waste a second. The city blurred as they ran through back streets, over fences, across puddles reflecting flashing red lights. They could hear sirens now, distant but closing in. When they reached the old gym, it was nothing but a skeleton of its past walls. Cracked, roof half collapsed, the floor still stained with the sweat and pain of forgotten kids. Amara searched the mats, the lockers, the walls, desperate. "Come on, Darius. Where did you—" Then she saw it. A loose floorboard beneath the heavy bag. She pried it open, and there it was. A small, weathered flash drive wrapped in electrical tape, her brother's handwriting on the side. For her. Tears stung her eyes. "He left it for me." But before she could say another word, the crunch of tires cut through the night. Headlights flooded the gym. The black SUVs were back. Trey stumbled out first, bleeding, bruised, eyes full of regret. "They followed me," he gasped. "I tried to lose them, but it was too late." Armed men poured in, flashlights slicing through the darkness. "Hand it over, Amara," one shouted. "You don't know what you're holding." She looked down at the flash drive, then at Deshawn. "You're right," she whispered. "I don't, but I know who it's for." She turned toward the shattered window at the back of the gym. "Deshawn, go. I'm not leaving you. Go." Bullets cracked through the air. She dove behind the beam, heart pounding. Deshawn grabbed the drive and sprinted into the night. Amara followed seconds later, dodging flashes of light and thunderous footsteps. They reached the alley behind the gym, a dead end. Trapped, Amara pressed her back against the wall, breathing hard, eyes on the men closing in. Maybe this is it, she thought. Maybe this is what peace costs. But then she heard the sound of sirens again. This time closer, different. Police lights cut through the rain. The men froze, hesitating. And in that hesitation, Amara moved. A blur of motion, a storm unleashed, disarming one, dropping another, shielding Deshawn. When the chaos settled, only echoes remained. The flash drive was safe, but Trey was gone. And somewhere in that storm, Amara finally understood. The rain finally stopped that morning. The sky hung heavy and gray over the city, as if even heaven had been holding its breath through the storm. Amara sat in the back of Deshawn's car, clothes torn, hands shaking, staring at the small flash drive clutched between her fingers. It felt like a heartbeat, like her brother's voice was still inside it, waiting to speak. They drove in silence until they reached the outskirts, an old diner that had been closed for years. Inside, under the hum of flickering lights, Deshawn pulled out his laptop. "You sure you want to see what's on it?" he asked softly. Amara nodded. "He left it for me. I owe him that." The screen blinked to life. A folder opened, the truth. Dozens of documents, videos, recordings, names. But one file stood out. For Amara, MP4. She clicked it, and there he was. Her brother, Darius. Tired eyes, bruised cheek, but still smiling that same crooked smile she remembered. "Hey, little sis," his voice came through the speakers. "If you're watching this, things didn't go as planned." Amara's eyes filled instantly. "I tried to make things right. Tried to take what they did to us, to our people, and expose it. The cops who shut down Black Wing didn't do it to save kids. They did it to silence them. We had proof they were running their own crew, dealing out of the same neighborhoods they called dangerous." He sighed, looking off screen. "They're gonna come for me. I already know that. But if you've got this drive, then you've got everything. The names, the files, the truth they buried with our friends." He leaned closer to the camera. "You always were the strongest one, Mara. I fought angry. You fought right. Don't let them turn you into what they think you are. Show them what strength really looks like." The video ended. Silence swallowed the room. Amara wiped her eyes, staring at the screen. Every scar, every fight, every tear, it all made sense now. Her brother hadn't run away. He'd sacrificed himself to make sure their story was told. He wasn't trying to escape the world that broke him. He was trying to fix it. Deshawn spoke quietly. "We can leak this, you know. Every name, every file. It'll burn half this city down." Amara shook her head slowly. "No, not burn it down. Change it." She looked out the diner window as the first light of dawn broke through the clouds. "They called me a thug, a problem, a threat. But maybe that's what it takes to wake people up." She handed Deshawn the drive. "We'll get this to someone who'll tell it right. And then what?" he asked. She smiled faintly. Then I'll go back to school. After all this? Yeah, she said softly. Because they need to see me walk those halls again. Head high, no fear. So every girl like me knows we don't run from the fight. We redefine it. Outside, the sky opened, not rain this time, but light. And as Amara stepped out of that diner, her reflection in the window showed the mark on her arm, the wing. No longer a symbol of violence, but of survival, of truth, of flight. They picked on the wrong girl, but maybe she was exactly the one the world needed.